Moving on to King Ferdinand, where was your rule and what is your title?
Well, I ruled over present-day Germany, and I am Ferdinand, the Catholic Habsburg King of Bohemia.
All right.
Pretty important thing to know.
Yes. What was the main point in the 30 Years' War, which you played a big role in?
Well, the 30 Years' War occurred because of the defenestration of Prague. Well, what happened was a few Protestants, silly noblemen, they threw a few of my royal officials out of the castle, and it just wasn't good, okay? So anyways, this shouldn't have happened. And I mean, Protestants, come on. Catholics, we gotta get this guy. And so, well, this started a revolt, and that's pretty much how I just need to suppress the Protestants and assert the royal power. And your next question?
In what ways did the 30 Years' War affect Europe and its
Oh
population?
my god, the 30 Years' War was terrible on the people. So, first of all, you know mercenaries, the people who you hire for soldiers, so they went everywhere, burning down villages, and almost as many as 1/3 of the people in Germany died, okay? This never really happened like that. It's raining sticks. Okay, anyways, so wolves returned to areas they hadn't settled since the Middle Ages, okay? That shouldn't be happening. And diseases, famines, it's terrible. I hated the 30 Years' War.
I would understand that. How did being elected Holy Roman Empire influence the 30 Years' War?
Well, at first I thought being a Holy Roman Emperor would help, because I mean, like, Catholic power unite, but I mean, that didn't happen. France, a Catholic country, and other countries just started doing it for political reasons, not even caring about trying to suppress the Protestants or anything. It's terrible. People flip-flop, so it's bad.
Alright. Last question. What ended the 30 Years' War and what happened after?
Well, in 1648, several treaties were signed, and this became, as you know, the Peace of Westphalia. France came out the obvious winner because, I mean, they got tons of new territory, and they just won. And the German states, they got divided into 360 individual states. Do you know how annoying that is?
That would be quite
Seriously.
annoying.
One for every day of the year, just about.
Anything else you would like to add?
Go Catholics! Woo!
Alright. Thank you for your time. Next guest, Oliver Cromwell. How did you feel about Parliament and how do you feel about the royal family trying to gain absolute power?
Well, Parliament has been the best thing that has happened to England. I mean, saving the country from bankruptcy time and time again. Those childish and extremely expensive dreams of Charles I and his father James I. I mean, Charles must have inherited it from his father James. I mean, they both tried to inherit absolute power, tried to get rid of Parliament. I mean, that's just impossible. We're just too awesome. Anyway, I mean, you can't get rid of Parliament. It's what makes England civilized. I mean, we're not like stupid Prussians.
Look, what's that? Frederick?
Come.
How about you Englishman?
Eventually we became stronger than the king, passing laws in which he couldn't disband us. I mean, he used to disband us. He disbanded us for 11 years. I mean, who's gonna rule in 11 years? He can't do it. He's feeble-minded. We also made the English Navy, and we also got the Navy and Army under our control. And when we finally said, when we actually passed that law, he came running in to the House of Commons and tried to cut off, I think, 5 of the parliamentary people in the parliamentary's heads. I mean, he just went insane. Those were good times. Very good times.
Moving on. Who were the two groups of fighters in the Civil War and what side were you a part of?
The two sides in the Civil War, I mean, do they not teach you anything in American schools? I mean, all you guys know is the Union and the Confederates, honestly. Well, on one side you have the Cavaliers, that's the King's men, who have their plumed hats and experience in dueling and warfare, because, you know, they're from the nobility and they had to, because that's what nobles do. Well, my side was the Roundheads, and it was a group of basically anybody who could come, and of course the Puritans, which is what I am. They thought the Roundheads were going to lose because obviously the Cavaliers have a superior force of cavalry, but me being a genius decided to create my own form of cavalry and destroy them. So, next question.
All right. How poorly equipped was your army at the start of the Civil War?
Well, I mean, the Cavaliers' forces, obviously being high-ranking nobility, had obvious superior weapons. But as I said before, I created that superior force of cavalry. I also introduced a new system of recruiting officers. Instead of selecting officers by how high, noble, and rich they were, like before, I actually introduced them. I suggested selecting officers for their military prowess. Of course, my ideas were brilliant, me being a genius and a military officer, and might have been the reason of us winning the Civil War. Yeah.
That's all. How do the Puritans feel about you gaining power in the Commonwealth?
Well, the Puritans have been ruling over England almost as soon as basically as soon as James I undisbanded us, I guess, in 1660 or 1640. I, being a Puritan, believe that there should be no archbishops and there should be more democracy in the church, and it should be simpler, simpler. What's the word? Can we start that over? Or not? No. Okay. My bad. Well,
All right.
Although Charles I, he was a hater, and haters gotta hate. So he said to us Puritans, harry them out of these lands or else do worse, as in he'd probably behead all of us. But the Puritans eventually ruled the Commonwealth after we beheaded Charles I. And me being the Lord Protector, destroyed all the rebellions, even the levelers who believed that the poor should have a say in government. I mean, how crazy is that? And the Puritans also said that they they introduced education and marriage based on love. However, taverns, theaters, gambling, and dancing were all rooted out by the Puritans during Shakespeare.
Last question. What challenges did the Commonwealth face in the new England?
Well, the Commonwealth faced many problems, including loyalists to Charles II, who they believed was the rightful king of England. I became the dictator of England, basically controlling the army and destroying all opposers. I basically bankrupted the kingdom, having many wars with a ton of people and the Dutch over trade routes. And so the Commonwealth just really didn't work, and I'm not sure how it went out after my death. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, sir. And with our final guest, Philip II, saving the best for last, of course. First question: why did you marry so many times?
You know, they called me a player in Spain, but that's really not the fact. I mean, I'm married to make alliances. Okay, I'm married with England, even though I hate England, so I could be ruler of England. I was for a little bit. And, you know, after a while, they get boring, and I just need to move on. So, you know what? I just married 4 times. So what?
Screw you.
All right. With what kind of force did you rule?
It was the most powerful force in the world, all right? Most people know that we had an armada that failed, okay? We actually had 3 armadas, and one of them actually succeeded. I had army men in the Philippines, all right? That's an entire world away. Pretty sure England can't say that. Pretty sure Prussia can definitely not say that.
What did you say about me?
Okay. Please.
I'll get you later, Catholic.
And so, yeah, we kicked the butts of the Ottomans at Lepanto. I mean, we are definitely the greatest military force on the planet.
So in order to end English attacks, you sailed this large armada. How long did it take you to build this fleet, and what were some highlights of the fleet?
You know, I started building it about 3 years before it sailed. I had to gather all the lumber from the New World. Actually imported a little bit of Brazil wood from my largest. And after that they sailed, and it took about a week to get to England, but there was a major storm off the coast of Brest, which kind of threw off our armada a little bit. But we got off the coast of London, and then just, I don't know what happened. Drake, sent a fire ship. I don't know, it was just terrible, to tell you the truth. The whole entire armada went off the coast of England, retreated, and then came back, and they're like, hey, they beat us. Yeah. And most of my armada was lost, to tell you the truth. It was a disaster. But it wasn't my fault.
Of course not. What were some especially important wars that you won, and what did you gain from these?
You know, I fought a lot of wars, but I'm going to have to say my favorite and the most important was the Ottoman War, right?
I teamed up with the Vatican States in Genoa, and we built the most massive fleet that has ever sailed. No cannons, old-fashioned galleys, right? And so the Ottomans were coming out of Greece, sailing out of Lepanto, and we decided that we were going to stop them right there. And they outnumbered us 2-1, and we still beat them. That's just a glimpse of all the wars I fought, and all of them went that way. We won them all.
That's pretty impressive. Last question. What is the importance of your Spanish colonies?
Oh. Money, money, money. Alright. I could take literally baths in gold. So much comes in every day from Peru, Mexico, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, everywhere on the planet. You want spices from Asia? I could get you that. You want gold from Mexico? I could do that too. I literally have infinite possibilities of what I want to do with these colonies, and I think that's the most important thing, and it spreads Catholicism, which I love, Catholic faith, definitely. And yeah, Spanish influence is just the best culture in the world, and I think that the Native Americans need to enjoy that, and we actually force them, but they love it, obviously.
Well, thank you for your time. I think we all will enjoy this.